In 1994, Mercedes entered India with the E-Class, the W124. 30 years later, we've got the 6th generation model, the V214, which is priced from 93.3 lakhs onwards for this variant, which is the base variant of the E-Class. This is the E200, but this is not the variant to buy, because if you pay rupees 17 lakhs more, you're going to get the fantastic E450, which is a 6-cylinder engine model. This is the E-Class long wheelbase, India being the first country in the world to get the E-Class long wheelbase and right-hand drive configuration. And straight away, let's open the engine bay, because, oh, how does it open? Yeah, it opens like this, because this engine is cost effective but doesn't have the punch. You get insulation right there. This engine needs to be cleaned. At least the engine cover needs to be cleaned. Oh my god, it is quite hot. Washer fluid goes in right there. It obviously gets gas struts as well. And this E-Class is a very evolutionary design when compared to the older model. So the E-Class is available with 3 engine options. There's the E200 petrol, this one. There's the E220D, which is going to sell the most, and there's the E450, and I know everyone is waiting for the E350D, because that will definitely be the engine to opt for. In terms of design, well, it has some inspiration from Mercedes' EQ models. The grille is huge. It has a lot of Mercedes logos here, massive Mercedes logo, and you obviously get a camera here. Radar is placed right behind, because obviously it gets level to ADAS. You get 6 parking sensors, because this car obviously has got self-park. Another Mercedes logo. How many Mercedes logos are on this car? Infinite, to be precise. It gets all LED lights. In fact, it says LED high performance on the inside. However, these are not matrix LED lights. No, digital lights are not there. No projector setup. But that's there on the E450, because that's obviously a higher variant. Now they're asking you 17 lakhs for something at least. It says Mercedes-Benz here, and there is no fog lamp either. But again, this Mercedes logo has been splashed here as well. You get chrome here. That is the towing hook. But yes, the design could be slightly better, because it's just way too evolutionary. Mercedes actually calls this car a mini S-Class. It definitely isn't, because the S-Class is in another league altogether. In fact, those door handles which pop in and out, they obviously come from the S-Class. So all I need to do is just slide it like this, and there it comes out. It says Mercedes-Benz here. It also illuminates. In fact, from the mirror, it illuminates the Mercedes logo down. There's a camera here. The tire size is not that impressive, 225, 55, 18. However, this seems to be very similar to the older model, so I'm not impressed on that front. The car's length has actually increased. It is longer by 14 mm. The wheelbase is longer by 15 mm. The length is almost 5.1 meters. The wheelbase is almost 3.1 meters, and the height is also increased by 13 mm. This is the key of the vehicle. Unlock the car, lock the car, and this is obviously to open the boot of the vehicle. Now straight away, let's get to the rear seat, because that is always the highlight of an E-Class. There's this Maybach style inspired quarter glass, which is actually locally made. And straight away, let me open the rear door, which opens decently wide. This seat is having a 26-degree recline, but I can recline it further. All I have to do is press this button, and it reclines by another 10 degrees, making it 36-degree recline, which is very impressive. Space is obviously improved, but space doesn't seem to be here. No problem here, because it has a boss mode. I press this button and I can push the seat all the way ahead, which is fantastic, making a lot more space for rear occupants. Yeah, that is absolutely impressive. There's a massive tunnel right here, because obviously this is a rear wheel drive. So space at the rear is very impressive. Under thigh support is okay. It could be better, but again, I can press this button to extend the under thigh. The problem is this button is not working, so I'll have to press this button to show you that this under thigh actually extends by 40 mm, which makes sure that under thigh support is never a problem here. You get some storage space right here, which is actually quite deep enough to actually put a full-size phone. Meanwhile, it has a 4-zone climate control air conditioning system, and this is scooped out. There are magazine holders here, AC vents placed here, here, and you get a hook as well. It says airbag right here. This car has got 8 airbags, nice wood treatment. The dashboard is completely new. It's very different, and gets the chauffeur package, because of which you can put this down. You get a wireless charging pad here. Again, sort of the Mercedes logos, not really. There's some storage space here. There's storage space here as well, with 2 USB-C charging sockets as well. Isofix child seat mounts, and these seat belts actually say pre-safe, but only for the front seat belts. Height adjustable seat belts, but good amount of space, amazing space actually. That is one of the major reasons why the E-Class is Mercedes' bestseller model in India. Now I can put this sunblind up electric. However, if I want to open these sunblinds, all I have to do is press a button here, and there it opens. So yes, the rear seat passengers have a lot of control. Not really, because there is no tablet here. There should have been a command tablet. And I can also put this sunblind up, because privacy is the name of the game when you're having a multi-billion-dollar meeting. These are Maybach style pillows, which are extremely soft. Ambient lighting here ambient lighting here as well looks phenomenal. The ambient lighting is just amazing, but there's no heating, there's no ventilation, there's no massage in the rear, which is very disappointing. In fact, it's not even there at the front. This is having this nice lining to it. Door pockets are big enough here. This light actually illuminates. In fact, this Mercedes-Benz also illuminates at night, and it does it in a very nice way, which is quite cool. So let me straight away get out. Before that, let me show you. This is manual. This quarter glass sunblind has to be manually used. And there's this light placement on the top as well. In fact, there's a hook here. There's a nice handle to hold on to, which has this softness to close, which is quite good. Let's shut the door with a lot of love, because obviously it has got soft close door function. There it pulls it inside to shut it. The rear design is a bit more impressive, but it is undeniably an E-Class because the silhouette and the profile looks very similar. So this is actually the rear fog light. The rear camera pops out from here, and it has this Mercedes style lights with this Mercedes motif on the inside, yes, star, which is amazing because the way it illuminates at night looks phenomenal. That is the indicator, which is not very much visible. Mercedes logos on the inside as well. Faisal Khan's fingers of truth disappointed with this fake exhaust treatment here. It gets this chrome right there. The real exhausts are placed here as well as here, so dual exhaust but placed under the body of the car. You get 6 parking sensors because obviously it's got self park. There's a reflector here. That is the rear towing hook, and the chrome line running right above the lights. They actually also looks very cool. Fuel goes in right here and doesn't have AdBlue because this is obviously a petrol. Now straight away, let's get inside, which means I'll just do this nice swipe thingy. In fact, it obviously has a camera here for the lane keep assist. There's a rain sensor, but this is actually a provision for a front dash cam. What do I mean by a front dash cam? Dash cam can be rear facing as well, which is actually there in this car. It says airbag here, that is for the knee airbag. Lot of storage space. This is to open the boot of the vehicle. Very nice treatment. This is actually for the mirror control, which is a bit touch sensitive, which is not that great. You get memory seats. You can save up to 3 people settings. However, this memory seat function is not there for the co-passenger, which means there's a dummy right there. Probably if they only offer memory seats for the driver, that works for left-hand drive markets obviously. Now the seat is extremely comfortable, has lumbar adjust. You can adjust the under thigh support as well with a touch of a button, so you can adjust it in a multitude of ways, which is quite nice. Yeah, I saw that moving. That is quite cool because the seats are very smooth. There it says free safe on the seat belt. This is a bit small. Yeah, the footwell area could be slightly bigger. In fact, the dead pedal also isn't that great, so that is something which could definitely be improved. This is the electric parking brake. This is the control for the headlights. This is for the rear fog, and the dashboard will definitely remind you of Mercedes' EQ models. It says Mercedes here, and the interior, something which you will definitely like. For starters, let me turn off the air conditioning system. So everything is reliant on the touchscreen, which is slightly disappointing honestly. And here you get a lockable glove box. The glove box is decent size. There's a light here on the inside. Doesn't get the cooling function. Let's quickly open the sunroof to slide it. Again, this is a touch control, which is not the best to use. I don't know why they are relying so much on touch, because it's not that intuitive to use. And there it opens. That's it. It doesn't open any further. So yeah, it could have been opened slightly bigger and better. Well, that's what she said. And there it closes. Okay, you get a mirror here along with the light. Same is the case here as well. You get a mirror along with the light. I think my seat is way too ahead, so I'm just going to push it behind and show you the whole dashboard, which looks quite impressive. There's some amount of storage space here along with the USB charging socket. I think this is a cooling function, probably. I'm not too sure. And here you get twin cup holders, a wireless charging pad, 2 USB-C charging sockets, and I can just press it on the center to change the mode of the cup holder as well. There it shuts. You've got some physical buttons here, but this panel is a bit too flimsy. This is for the drive mode selector. This is for the parking camera. The camera is just amazing. Look at the camera. Phenomenal in terms of quality. Got multiple views as well, but somehow this whole screen has heated up quite a lot right now. Got parking assistance for self park, which actually works quite nice. And then this is to get into the car function, so you can turn on and off ESP. You can get into manual shifting, not that it works or helps in any way. And these are all the settings of the car. It says active brake assist is off because now Mercedes has updated the software. So this is the 3rd generation of the MBUX system, I believe, wherein if you turn off active brake assist and turn on the car, it will still be turned off. It will not reset, which is amazing because everybody has been facing an issue with this thing only. But now ADAS is better in this car. Let's quickly go through this screen because this is actually a 14.4 inch screen. This is the phone menu. This is for the navigation. Navigation is actually quite nice, just like it has always been the case with the latest Mercedes cars. It's phenomenal, but a lot of stuff being relied on the touchscreen is something which disappoints me here. Let me get into media, because if I get into the settings, I can adjust the 3D sound. So this car has actually got a 17 speaker Burmester 4D sound system, which is just awesome because it has got exciters in the backrest, but only for the front, not for the rear, and that can be adjusted in 10 levels. Yeah, that's right, 10 level adjustment for the exciters. It kind of feels like a massage when you're listening to music on full blast. It's just amazing. Let's quickly get into the apps here. A few of the apps like Mercedes Me, because it has obviously got connected car tech, service, gallery and camera. So this is the camera which actually records you. So you can take photos, you can take videos. But what is the need of such a thing in a Mercedes E-Class? Probably the chauffeur can have some fun. Where is Sudoku? I can't find Sudoku, so I'm a bit disappointed there. Let's get into comfort. You can actually ask the car to set your seat position by putting your height here. Ambient lighting has got 10 pre-fed colors, multiple colors, or you can get into monochrome where there are 64 colors for the ambient lighting, which also comes right here. It comes everywhere. The ambient lighting is just amazing in the car. At night, this car feels like a disco on wheels. You obviously have a browser if you want to go through the internet, get into settings for various aspects. There's info here, which shows you how much accelerator and brake input you're giving, and if you're revving the motor, it shows you all this and more. But you can see that this particular screen is attracting a lot of these small dust particles somehow. This is a 14.4 inch screen. This is a 12.3 inch screen. This is the passenger display, which has its own set of menu similar to what we have seen on this screen, and this is a 12.3 inch screen similar to what we have seen on other Mercedes cars. You get the usual menus, yeah, which we get in a lot of other Mercedes cars. Nothing flamboyant here, but the quality of the screen is just amazing. There is no heads-up display here. These are the controls for the audio system. These are the controls for the cruise control and to browse through this screen. And the steering doesn't get the flat bottom treatment. However, it gets electric adjust. That is the gear selector. It gets paddle shifters. It gets automatic headlights. It gets automatic wipers as well. But I love the fact that if I open the door and someone's coming now, this light will blink red, and it will also alert me that there's someone who's in my line of sight. So yeah, it has got these small features which obviously are fantastic. That is the tweeter. In fact, the headlight does not do any dancer effect when you turn it on. Again, I'm a bit disappointed with that. There's a microphone here for the Bluetooth system, and there's a handle to hold on to for the driver as well. You get light controls on the top, auto dimming mirror here, obviously. It says airbag right here. And of course, every time you turn on and off the vehicle, there's an effect here, there's an effect here, there's an effect on all the three screens, because it shows you the Mercedes logo and it nicely fades away as well. This car has got 4-zone climate control air conditioning system, and to adjust the AC vents, this would be just so wrong by moving it physically, because of which it has something known as digital vent control, which is just kind of stupid. Firstly, it has a PM 2.5 air filter, so it has an ionizer as well, and you can control the AC vents in all the rows from here. Yeah, that's right, you can control it from here itself, which is actually quite cool, because the driver should not have any control, yet he's having a lot of control. So let's get into the digital vent control, and I can actually change how the vents are displaying. So here, if I decide I want to show it to the head, it will actually move it. Yeah, that's so cool. Is this a feature which is needed? Absolutely not, but Mercedes is like, why not? We can do that. We can move the AC vents digitally, which actually brings me to the boot of the car, which is now bigger at 510 liters. And the good news is that there's a spare wheel right below, which is obviously not full size. It's a smaller size spare wheel. In fact, the size is 145/80/19. This is the first aid kit. You get a jack here, I don't know where Rose is, and there is the towing hook, obviously. So yeah, it is quite practical in terms of storage space, and this is powered as well. But enough of the yapping, let's start driving right away. Alright, it's time to start driving. The seat actually moves ahead. It says do not leave persons or animals in the vehicle. Which animal will I leave any which ways? Straight away, let's turn off the air conditioning. Let me come into the drive mode. We are going to come into sport drive mode, and I'm obviously going to change some things here, like I'm going to turn on the manual mode, I'm going to turn off ESP, and I'm going to come into the info mode here because I want to see the power and torque meter. And straight away the car is on. I can't realize it. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor, revs till 2000 RPM. But before that, let's remove this plastic from the screen. That is so satisfying. And now the car is bogged down because I was left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator for far too long. Let's turn off the stop start system as well. That screen will not work once the car is in motion. And off we go. that was quite a lot of wheel spin. Yeah, it did a lot of wheel spin because this is obviously rear wheel drive. It is based on the MRA platform, which is the modular rear architecture which underpins Mercedes' rear wheel drive cars like this one, as well as the S-Class, although 4MATIC is also available in the E450. The horn is actually nice. Yeah, it's loud and nice, and around the corners you can feel the body roll, but it does maintain its line quite well. So this is the E200, the base variant of the E-Class, the base engine, which is powered by 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine, which produces just 200 horsepower and 320 Newton meters of torque. But turbo lag is very well contained because it has got mild hybrid technology, 48 volt mild hybrid system, which gives it a boost of 23 horsepower and 205 Newton meters, resulting in good low end performance. Yes, it feels very linear, acceleration is brisk, but post 3000 rpm it sounds sporty as well. It upshifts around 6000 rpm. This is a 9-speed torque converter gearbox, which is not fast with shifts, but it is quite smooth, and changing directions and all is not an issue at all. The brakes could be better, a lot of tire noise. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, hazard lights off, and off we go. It's time to time this car. Let's see how fast it goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. Come on, show me what you got. And there it is, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 7.97 seconds, which is quite impressive because I think the claim is above 8 seconds, 8.5 seconds probably. So this is actually a fast car. The suspension is on the softer side. Naturally, this is an E-Class. It has to glide over the worst of roads. It does that only at lower speeds because of the soft suspension. There's some movement there. But overall ride quality is very impressive. It's a very smooth car, excellent ride. It does have good high-speed stability as well. So fantastic car in that regard. And when I make a quick U-turn, I get hard on the throttle, nothing happens. Yeah, nothing happens because there's not much power and torque going. Blind spot assist and exit warning inoperative. Sometimes the touchscreen was also not working in between. So that's the issue which I faced with the car I drove in Germany as well. Mercedes really needs to work on its quality, because with Mercedes, quality is a given, but unfortunately that doesn't seem to be the case these days. Let's get into the sport mode here. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. Let me reset this quickly and off we go. .25 seconds. So yes, this is actually decently quick for a 4-cylinder engine. Leaner performance, top end is also okay, but it sounds really nice post 3000 rpm. It gets a little sporty in the way the engine sound is, which is nice. Let's get into this vehicle thing because we can. Now it gets a center airbag, which is the first time a Mercedes model has got a center airbag in India, which is actually locally made in India, which again is kind of a unique thing. And this 17 speaker 730 watt output audio system of Burmester is just amazing. In fact, listen to some audio right away. Okay, why did I use a BMW track while playing it in a Mercedes? I don't know. I am stupid. Body roll is well contained. Yeah, this car does roll around quite a bit because of the soft suspension, and the ground clearance is decent enough that you won't face issues on most of the speed breakers. But remember, it has a very long wheelbase, so you are better off always, trust me on this, you are better off always going in acrobatic format over a speed breaker because you're always scared of it bottoming out. Let's use the wipers. Lot of spray. It doesn't just clean the windscreen, it even cleans the roof of the car. That is the amount of spray it has to offer. And I like the way the engine is extremely smooth and refined. Performance is very nice. It's actually smooth, pulls nicely, and there's a strong pull as well. But this is the E200. There's an E450 which has a lot more power, 6-cylinder engine, obviously more torque as well. But that goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.5 seconds. You have to pay 17 lakhs more for it. It's a very expensive car, almost 1.1 crores on road Mumbai. This one is 93.3 lakhs, so prices have increased by around 4 lakhs when compared to the older model, and you get a more refined car. In fact, let's try and use the selfie camera. I don't think it's going to work while we are in motion, but hey, there's nothing wrong trying it. Currently unavailable at speed. Yeah, content unavailable at speed, and I also need to put a drive inside so that it's able to record all that. So that's a bit disappointing. The navigation is so cool. I just press it in the center and there it turns on. Let me quickly change this particular mode to the navigation one as well. Mercedes does some phenomenal screens, so there's no complaint on that front. But what I want to see there, she's talking behind, caution, curve ahead, caution, blah blah blah, school ahead, and all those things.
Caution, sharp curve in 300 meters. Caution, sharp curve in 150 meters. Caution, sharp curve in 300 meters.
Bus car! Which is something which I've noticed a lot in Hyundai cars as well. So I think that's a system which is really intervening. But yeah, this camera doesn't work at speed. It's a bit disappointing. I thought maybe I can record myself while driving, being like, super cool, look at me. Throttle response is very good, yeah, because of the 48-volt mild hybrid system. Now there is no hesitation when giving performance or power to this car. It instantly pulls, and that's something which makes this car very effortless to drive. In fact, you don't even feel the size of this car. Yeah, it is big in terms of size, but you don't feel the size somehow because it's very light and easy to drive. The steering is extremely light, but it does weigh up decently well at speed. So it's very well calibrated, and Mercedes obviously does phenomenal steering wheels. So we put this assistance mode right now where I actually see an E-Class, and when I'm giving an indicator, it is also showing that to me. There you see the forward collision warning is in play. It's showing it here, which is kind of cool. Yeah, why is it not beeping somehow? It's kind of weird. So let's get into the car settings. Too many things into the touchscreen is kind of weird, and then I cannot obviously make changes while the car is in motion. So that's that. It is on early, somehow it is not detecting. Let's see, does it do it with the bus? There it does it. Yes, there it does it. Obviously it has this blind spot alert as well, which is nice, but why doesn't it have a blind spot camera? Wouldn't that be cool, considering a lot of cheaper cars are offering that? I expect Mercedes also to offer something like that. Let's quickly change this and come into the service mode, which is something which you will only use when the car is stationary because it doesn't give you much information as such. But then Mercedes is like, we have the coolest instrument cluster modes in the world, and I absolutely agree with them because this looks super duper awesome. Let me quickly come out of this. Let's quickly get back into that info mode here, and we're going to come into the engine thing because I think that is the coolest of all the modes available in this car. And personally, I love this. Okay, I am trying to change this mode and it's like giving me a warning of speed alert. So I'm just going to come to the classic one because I think the classic one works the best. Obviously, I can browse through a lot of information here, but I think the map one is by far the best. There are no two ways about it. But the car which people will prefer to buy, the engine, that is the E220 D, 197 horsepower, somewhere around that. Torque is also more than this car. It is very, very, very efficient, and that is actually the most popular model of the E-Class everywhere in the world. Although the E-Class is Mercedes' top selling model in India, they have not got us the E350D yet, and I hope they bring it because an E350 is an E350 is an E350 because that 6-cylinder diesel engine is it is smooth, it's refined, it's punchy. Okay, it's not the most refined. Mercedes diesel engines are refined, but not the most refined. This petrol is unbelievably refined. It is so silent, and I'm in manual mode, but it doesn't give me manual control of things. I have paddle shifters here. I have shifted to second gear. It will not hold on to a gear. It will just upshift maybe around 300 RPM later, taking the red line to 6,300 RPM. Why does not it go to 7,000 RPM? How difficult is it to take an engine to 7,000 RPM? I really don't know. In terms of fuel efficiency, this car will return somewhere between 7 to 9 kilometers per liter in the city, going to around 12 to 13 kilometers per liter out on the highway. There it is ringing much earlier. So I think it senses on your throttle input that are you going to go ahead and hit the car. So that's how it makes changes. And I like the fact that this car rides better than the older model. It handles better than the older model. It's bigger than the older model. It's more expensive than the older model. So a lot of big improvements in this car, but the styling is a bit subjective. I think they could have made a bigger styling change. It's very evolutionary, and the biggest problem I have with this car is for the price of this car, which is 93.3 lakh rupees, which is a lot of money. This car does not get ventilated front seats or heated seats. Okay, heated seats I don't want, but seat ventilation should be there. It's so hot all the time, and they should have given the option of massage as well. That seat kinetics thing is also not there in this car, which is there in like even the A-Class. So I don't know what Mercedes is trying to do. Probably they're like, when we are going to get the AMG version of the E-Class, we are going to give all that in that, because the E53 AMG will definitely make it to Indian shores in the next few months for sure, because they have to bring an AMG, and usually they tend to bring the 53 first. The 63 would be mental, but then downsizing is something which people do not appreciate at all. We need the V8, and we need the V8 back right away. So I'm just going to come to a quick halt because we're going to launch it once again, and I think I need to cool down as well because there's so much sweat on me. I know it's just a matter of a few seconds before this GoPro camera also shuts off because of the heat. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor, and off we go. Little bit of wheel spin. There's some cloth on the road which kind of bogged down this car. and that's 0 to 100 in 7.72 seconds, but we have quite a lot of slope, 1.5% to be precise, so I'm not going to take that timing, but 8 seconds is what it takes to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, which is not bad at all. Like I was telling you, the price of this car is 93.3 lakhs, out of which for registration it takes 10.66 lakhs, which is a lot of money. The government really needs to reduce the registration cost of the cars, because the registration cost comes later. Before that, obviously you're paying so much duty and taxes, so it's kind of crazy how the price of this car is almost double than that of Germany. Moral of the story, move to Germany if you want to drive an E-Class without having to break the bank, even though it's still quite expensive in Germany and around 50 lakhs, but at least it's not 1 CR, because 1.1 CR for the E450, which has 4MATIC. So that's one of the reasons not to get it, because a rear wheel drive is a rear wheel drive is a rear wheel drive. With rear wheel drive, it's just so much more playful, baby. And I like that playfulness of a rear wheel drive car, and that is the essence of an E-Class and a C-Class over, say, an A-Class, all of which, I mean, are Mercedes cars at the end of the day. But there's a stark difference between rear wheel drive and front wheel drive models, where the rear wheel drive models are far superior in terms of the feel they offer you. The insurance cost of this car for the first year is rupees 3.34 lakhs. Meanwhile, the E220D, which is the model to buy, is priced at rupees 98.77 lakhs, slightly under a crore rupees. So it's not a crore rupee car. Oh my god, I hit a bad patch of road, wherein you realize that the insulation and all is fantastic. Little bit of road noise definitely filters in through the tires, but other than that, it is extremely smooth. But should you go and pay rupees 16.7 lakhs more for the E450? Absolutely not, because you should wait for the E350D, which will obviously be priced around rupees 17 lakhs more than the E220D. But at least there you will get diesel power, the torque rush of a diesel. Mercedes has sold all generations of the E-Class in the Indian market. My goodness, what is this road? Yeah, they've sold all generations of the E-Class in the Indian market. Yes, all 6 generations have been sold. They started off with the W124 back in 1994 when they entered the Indian market, and this 6th generation model had its global debut in 2023. I think April 25th is when they unveiled it for the first time, and then I think they took some time to bring it to India, because India gets the long wheelbase version. Meanwhile, the 5 Series also is available in long wheelbase format, but it's not that attractive. However, the pricing of the 5 Series is way more attractive now, because compared to the E-Class, when both of them are long wheelbase, the 5 Series cost a whopping rupees 6.61 lakhs less, which is considerable amount of money. You pay 5.5 lakhs more when compared to this car for the diesel, which seems worth it for the better mileage, the better torque rush, and the better resale value you would obviously get with a diesel model. Now, they usually had a cabriolet and a coupe version of the E-Class. That has stopped from this generation, because the C and the E-Class cabriolet and convertible models have been merged together in a newer model known as the CLE. So Mercedes is definitely rationalizing all its models, because there are way too many models. All this has happened because of the A-Class, the B-Class, the EQA, the EQB, and all those models, the GLA, the GLB and all. I mean, nobody really wanted a front-wheel drive platformed Mercedes car, but Mercedes is like, paisa, paisa, paisa. Jokes aside, the C-Class and the E-Class's prices have gone up consistently, because of which they had to slot in a model lower down, thereby also diluting the brand to a certain extent. Now it's time to take a quick U-turn here, which shouldn't be difficult, even though this car is like hugely long. This car is like crazy in terms of length. Just imagine the cars are becoming bigger and bigger, which is fine, but the prices are also going higher and higher. Who could have imagined a few years back that an E-Class will cost more than rupees 1 crore? And I'm not even talking about the AMG model, a regular version of the E-Class, the base engine, the E200, almost close to a crore. The E220D will easily cross rupees 1 crore when Mercedes is going to increase the prices in a couple of months. When the new year will hit, due to rising input costs, prices will go up even further. Now, there are multiple drive modes. You're driving in sport mode, but there's an efficiency mode, there's comfort, there's sport, and there's individual. Basically, you can tweak the engine, the gearbox, the steering, and the ESP system. That's about it. Engine and gearbox together, obviously. It doesn't have adaptive dampers. This is running on steel springs, which makes me believe that we really need the E350D ASAP. Meanwhile, the E450 is actually producing 381 horsepower and 500 Newton meters of torque. And on that hope that the E350D is coming really soon, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give the thumbs up, that's a like button, and also subscribe to the channel. Let me know which car would you pick in this segment, whether you would pick the E-Class or the 5 Series, or just save a lot of money and opt for the 20, 30, 40 lakh cheaper Audi A6. I know the car is dated now, but the A6 also has a lot of swag. Bye-bye. Oh, by the way, I just noticed that the digital vent, okay, firstly, this is so stupid. Now, I hate this whole touchscreen nonsense to control the air conditioning. The digital vent control actually even changes the side vents. Yes, electrically changes the side vents, which is so awesome.